Alrighty, folks. Well, it looks like we have our players inside of the lobby, and the countdown has begun. It is going to be between two gold players, Russeli, I hope I'm spelling his name, well, saying his name right, versus Flemishdk, and it's going to be on Accolon Wastes. This is the first game of the tournament for now, and it should be an interesting ZvZ. Alrighty. The first match that is casted by Tempo on the SS Radio Open number 1 Golden Under is going to be on Accolon Wastes. It's going to be a ZvZ, and spawning in the bottom right corner as the green Zerg, he goes by the name of Flemishdk from Clan Sinvicta. And spawning in the top left corner, he is the blue Zerg. His map is Accolon Wastes. He goes by the name of Russeli. Alright, so both of these players are in gold. I did mention that earlier. And if you notice that they're both pretty much doing the same exact thing, there's not going to be any early pools going on between these two players. Flemishdk from Team Sinvicta, I'm not exactly sure how he plays, or actually Russeli, but they are both players that I have casted before, but I've never seen them in a ZvZ before. So we're going to see exactly how this matchup does pan out. Still pretty much the same builds going. I assume that they're probably going to open with a hatch first. But this is about the time of the game where we're going to see exactly what these players decide to do. Are they going to put down the pool first and get the gas early? Or will they go for that economic build and get the hatch? But we do see a probe, well, a probe in a drone suit going down to the expansion zone of Russeli, getting ready to put down that hatchery. And Flemishdk is going to take the more aggressive or safe route and get a spawning pool first. We'll see pretty much if he decides to go and put his hatchery down and get a gas, or if he's just going to go for a one base play and then get his expansion. Or maybe he's just going to go for a one base all in, you never know. So Flemishdk is getting his gas right now. I don't think there's any gas going down for Russeli though, but he is putting down his pool, and then he gets his gas. So that's the first deviation that we have seen in this game. We're going to see if Flemishdk does decide to put down that hatchery. If he doesn't, then he's going to probably go for some kind of early aggressive, maybe a roach push or some speedlings. You never know though. He's going to go put his drones into that gas. And the gas timings are pretty much the same, so I feel like Russeli has the edge right now, because this is a pretty big map. The rush distance is not that, the rush distance is pretty far, so you are safe from early lings. But, so let's see, I think my sound is pretty low. I'll try to get it up a little bit. You can get a little bit of music in here, too. So, yeah. The first lings are going to be coming out for Flemishdk. And actually, a spine crawler is going to go down for Russeli, so I feel like, no, that's actually for Flemishdk, I apologize. He's going to probably move that spine crawler down to his natural as soon as it is complete. But if we look at the drone count, Flemishdk only has 13 drones to the 17 of Russeli, so the economic opening goes to Russeli. And he's going to get 4 lings as well. So this overlord is going to go in and probably get killed by the queen, but this timing is a little bit early to send an overlord in, because you can actually get the scouting done with these lings, and you don't have to sacrifice an overlord. So this is in vision range of the creep right now, and he needs to be careful to not let it get killed. A baneling nest is going to be going down for Flemishdk, as well as speed. The speeds are about the same time. Notice that these players did both get their gas at about the same exact time. So there was no advantage to the opening of Flemish by getting the pool first and getting his speed earlier. So a spawning pool is going... No, a spine crawler, I believe. I'm looking for it. Looks like it's going down for... Is it a second spine crawler? Yeah, so it looks like Flemish is getting a little bit nervous. This might be a little bit of an overcommit. But if you look at the drones, he's still only at 13 drones. In ZvZ, this is the most important thing, man. Like TLO says, it is a game of drones. And he needs to be able to get that drone count. If you're getting doubled, even more than doubled, in drone count in the early game of ZvZ without doing any damage, then you're definitely not in the best position. Especially if you're making 2 drones into spine crawlers. So I hope that Flemish decides to get pretty aggressive, as there is no defense really for Russeli. They have the same amount of lings, but Flemish does have that that baneling nest. So it looks like Russeli is going to go for the speedlings without the baneling nest. And Flemishdk will be getting his lair. And I believe he's making more drones. So they're both making the same amount of drones, but keep in mind that the drone count is severely in Russeli's favor. Or Russeli. I don't know how to exactly say his name, and I hope I'm saying it right. He'll probably kill me after the game if I'm pronouncing his name wrong the whole time. But look at this. He's going to go take his third. He says, I don't give a damn, brother. What you doing? None of these players have scouted each other really extensively. So they're pretty much doing their own thing. Except Russeli's own thing is a lot better than Flemishdk's at this current moment. Simply because he has that drone advantage. But I'm pretty surprised that he's actually going to take this third without confirming any lair or any... Well, does he see that lair? Oh, so this Overlord has been creeping this whole time. Creeping Overlord. And that Queen has not been able to spot it. But the drone count is not as significant. I mean, the drone difference is not as significant. Oh, as 4 more drones do come out for Russeli. So this is actually one of the greediest builds I've ever seen in my life, but it's not going to be punished. You got to be very, very careful when you're doing builds like this if you're not scouting, because if a bunch of speedlings or a bunch of banelings or roaches even come up your front door and you're not expecting it, hey man, that's good fight, good night. But it looks like they both do have the same... Oh no, actually, Flemishdk still only has 6 lings. Russeli has 19 lings. So this is where the economy is definitely spiraled out of control. And I'm worrying for Flemishdk as he does get his Spire. This Mutalisk might be able to do some damage, but Russeli got his lair. I'm not exactly sure why. He hasn't put down any tech. Oh, but there goes the Spire. I don't know exactly where he put it. Probably at the natural. A double spot. Okay. So this is pretty interesting. I don't advise doing this, especially in early game ZvZ. Well, mid-game ZvZ. Simply because you want to use all of your gas to make as many mutas as you can while getting the upgrade. However, if he is able to get both upgrades at the same time and finish it with the 1-1 and get a nice timing, he will be... he'll have a slight advantage for a short period of time. The only problem is the Spire does cost 200 gas, so that is 2 more Mutalisks that could have been produced. But he is getting the melee upgrades right now, so his lings are going to be able to dominate the lings of Flemishdk. The supply differences for both of them are 52 to 78, and you can look at the army supply 29 to 7 in Russeli's favor. So I'm starting to worry for Flemishdk right now. The player from Clan Sinvicta might be in a little bit of trouble if all of these lings decide to go, but there could be a money hit by these banelings. Keep in mind that this +1 carapace is about to finish, so that means that the Zerglings will die in 2 shots of the baneling instead of just 1. So 8 Mutalisks are on the way for Flemishdk. No upgrade is going to be researched. But look at this. So many upgrades are coming for... Who is this? Russeli. But we got to be real careful here. +1 lings, +1 lings versus 0-0 banelings. As if the armor upgrade does matter for banelings, but it does, I believe, if a baneling runs into it. I think it still 2-shots it. Because if your baneling doesn't attack and a baneling runs into your baneling, the baneling that is attacking is going to die, and yours is going to survive. Banelings can take 2 baneling hits. But I don't think the armor is a factor because 2 banelings will destroy a baneling regardless. But we see 20 lings coming out from Russeli. What is the muta count for both of these players? 8 mutas to, of Russeli to the, I believe, 13 of Flemishdk. So Flemishdk does have the muta advantage. However, Russeli's mutas are about to get +1/+1 very shortly. Well, they're about halfway finished, so not very shortly, but looks like Flemishdk is going to start to get aggressive on the map. The muta count is actually in his favor. These lings shouldn't be attacking right now simply because of the +1/+1. 2-2 is actually on the way. Well, 2-1 is for the lings. And this muta attack might actually go in Flemishdk's favor if this upgrade does not finish. I believe that queen is transfusing. Pretty sick transfuses, but the lings under are soaking. I don't know. It's really close, but it does look like Russeli has the slight advantage. And Flemish needs to at least back out of there. And as soon as this +1/+1 does finish, Russeli is going to dominate Flemishdk, and he is not really going to have an answer for it. So here comes the counterattack. Russeli is going to travel the pretty long distance that it takes to get to Flemishdk's base, but speedlings are pretty fast. As our mutas, and they're going to run into some banelings. But these +1/+1 lings are going to be dominating on the ground as the mutas of Russeli just finished +1/+1 are going to dominate the air battle. He needs to just recollect all of his units and do a final attack to end it, but he might not know how far ahead he is and how much of an impact that those upgrades are, so let's find out exactly how this game is going to go. The worker count is actually 44 to 51. Still in the Russeli's favor, but it's not as bad as it was earlier. But this third base is already mining gas, so the muta battle is going to be in Russeli's favor. Flemishdk is going to go and try to take a third, but it's so far behind of Russeli, so these +1/+1 mutas not opting to go for a +2/+2 yet because he is gas starved. Notice how many upgrades that he's putting so much gas into his upgrades that he's not able to get a really big muta count. But look at the supply difference. 103 for Russeli, 96 for Flemishdk. And this is actually not going to supply block Russeli, but he will get a good scout and see if Flemishdk is going to try to go for any type of tech switch. But the money is getting pretty high for Russeli. He needs to be able to inject a bit, maybe put down a macro hat so that he can make a few more lings. But still, no upgrades. +2/+2 is going to be going down for Russeli, and +1 carapace is just now starting for Flemishdk. This is pretty interesting right now. The ground battle will be dominated by Russeli as more lings do pour out onto the map. The drone lead is 10 drones ahead for Russeli on the... another battle is going to be going down right now. Mutas are going to chase away this, but these +1/+1 lings are... They should be able to attack, but no, there are just not enough mutas here for Flemishdk. And the banelings, did they even... Oh no, they're lagging behind. If he pulls back his lings and hits some of these lings of Russeli, he's going to be in a pretty good spot, but... Looks like he's going to get cleaned up. And I think that Russeli is going to actually go right into the main or the natural of Flemishdk and end this right now. He's going to put down some late spore crawlers, but I don't think they're going to be any match for... How many mutas are there here? 17 mutas of Russeli. All of these overlords are going to go down. Although Flemishdk does not have the supply even close to filling his supply cap, but these corruptors are just not going to be able to shoot fast enough to kill these mutalisks. 114 supply to the 37 of Flemishdk. Bah, GG is called by Flemishdk, frowny face with a tear. The first game of the Sinvicta SS Radio Open #1, brah. Golden under is going to go to Russeli.